You have heard the promise. You have read the words, ask, believing you have received, and you shall receive. You have tasted in fleeting moments the truth that imagination creates reality. And yet, you find yourself standing before a great and silent wall, invisible but impenetrable. Beyond that wall lies the world you have dared to imagine, the abundance, the companionship, the peace that surpasses all understanding. You can glimpse it. You can almost feel its warmth upon your skin. But something holds you back. You have entered the silence. You have felt the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You have persisted in your assumption. And just as you sense the world beginning to bend, this unseen barrier rises, firm and unyielding. You begin to wonder, is there something wrong with me? Is there some mystery I've missed? Am I perhaps unworthy of this power? Let me tell you now with absolute clarity that this wall is not a punishment from God. It is not fate, nor is it imposed by anything outside of you. It is the edifice you have built, brick by invisible brick, with one substance only, your own unspoken belief about who you are. This is the true obstacle, the only block that ever was. And tonight we shall not merely name it, we shall tear it down. For what you have built in ignorance, you may now dissolve in understanding. Before you can tear down this invisible wall, you must come to know the material from which it was made. It is not fashioned from fate. It was not erected by others. And yet, its stones were often handed to you by those who came before. As a child, you may have heard the words, money doesn't grow on trees. You're too sensitive. You'll never be good enough. Not in anger, perhaps, but out of fear or limitation, or love misunderstood. And you, being innocent, took those stones and began to build. You did not yet know the power of I am. You did not know that every name you answered to, even in silence, would become the architecture of your life. You believed you were unworthy. You believed love must be earned through suffering. You believed abundance was reserved for someone else. And so you clothed the name of God in garments of lack. For your true name, your eternal name, is not John or Mary. It is I am. I am that I am, said the voice to Moses. This is the creative power, the very name of God. And yet, each day, unknowingly, you have said, I am behind. I am not chosen. I am always struggling. These are not passing thoughts. They are decrees. They are bricks. And together, they form the wall that now stands between you and your desire. But do not condemn the past. The wall was built in ignorance, not malice. And what was built unconsciously can be unbuilt in consciousness. Let the weak say, I am strong. That is not a comfort, it is a command. The great mercy is this. The name I am does not ask how you receive the old identity. It simply awaits the one you now choose. For it will build the prison or the palace with equal devotion, according to the name you dare to speak within. Now that you have seen the wall for what it is, a structure not built by enemies, but by your own past assumptions, I shall give you the only force required for its removal. It is not effort, but acceptance. It is the conscious use of the name of God. I am. The work begins in stillness. Do not analyze, but observe. Ask yourself gently, where do I still feel bound? Is it in love, in finances, in the body? Wherever the wall stands, there you shall find a name, a state you have been living in. Perhaps it is, I am always struggling. I am difficult to love. I am not enough. Let it rise. Do not resist it. Simply witness it. For the name you have answered to in silence is the state you have unknowingly inhabited. A gentleman once wrote to me. He had studied this teaching for 3 years. He performed all the techniques, affirmations, visualizations, mental diets, and yet nothing changed. I feel, he wrote, as though I am pressing against something invisible. I asked him only this: when you are alone and no one is watching, what is the name you answer to? He hesitated, then said, I suppose. I still think of myself as the man who is always barely getting by. There it was. He did not need more action. He needed a new dwelling place. He began to assume the state of one who is supporting. He walked gently in the feeling of being provided for. He no longer performed the techniques to get results. He simply began to live from the new name. I am abundantly cared for, he would whisper to himself, not loudly, not anxiously, but with quiet familiarity. In his kitchen, on the street before he slept. And slowly, the inner atmosphere changed. Within weeks, new channels opened. Payments arrived. An old friend offered a contract. He had not broken the wall. He had simply stopped inhabiting it. This is your work, not disruption, but displacement. To no longer dwell in the old state, but to abide in the new one. Once you have recognized the false name, you must assume the true one. Let it be short, firm, and felt. I am chosen. I am remembered. I am safe. This is not pretense. This is truth remembered. And now you begin the quiet power of assumption. You return to it often, when walking, when sitting, when lying down to rest. You wear it gently, not with strain, but with trust. And as you say the words inwardly, you allow the corresponding feeling to take its rightful place within. If you claim, I am supported, then let your breath reflect that support. Let your steps reflect it. Let your thoughts relax into it. Let this be the atmosphere in which you live. You do not argue with the old name. You do not wrestle with it. You simply cease to inhabit it. You turn away and turn again and again toward the new. In doing so, you withdraw life from the old structure, and what is no longer fed must fall. This is the only force that shifts all things. Consciousness assuming its rightful name. I am, claimed in truth and felt in stillness. You now hold the only power needed. You no longer wait for signs. You no longer ask permission from the world. You have found the cause, and with it, the key. The man who changed is not a story. It is a reflection. He did not adjust the old state. He left it. He stopped being the man who lacked and assumed the state of one who had. And the world-obedient mirror that it is reflected it back. You were not meant to decorate a prison. You were meant to walk out. You have been trying to hang pictures of wealth and love on crumbling walls, trying to plant seeds in soil that cannot hold them. But now you see, the method is not the foundation. The vision is not the foundation. Even the wish itself is not the foundation. The foundation is always this: who do you say that you are? And if you dare answer rightly, if you clothe the name of God in the garment of your desire, then all things must conform. So I say, do not claim I am poor and expect riches. Do not declare I am unworthy and seek love. That house cannot stand. Choose instead the name that belongs to your future. Choose the state that matches your end. You are not a victim of time. You are not the sum of what has been. You are the one who chooses where to dwell, and the one who brings that dwelling into form. So go now, not to try, but to become. Let the old name fall away. Let the ground be made new, and upon that foundation build a world that reflects not your fear, but your faith. The work is done. Now, let us go into the silence.